So for the first half of our class, we're going to discuss about IELTS, just an overview, and then we're going to have a practice test later.
Okay.
So let's start by having the meaning first. Could you please read what is IELTS?
IELTS stands for the International English Language Testing System.
Yes. And for the test format, IELTS consists of 6 components. Now, all candidates take the same listening and speaking tests. There is a choice of reading and writing tests, as we mentioned, according to whether a candidate is taking the academic or general training module. Have you taken the IELTS before?
No, not yet.
No.
Yeah.
Have you had practice tests before?
No.
Oh, it's gonna be
I'm-
the first time.
I am really beginning for IELTS. Beginning. Yeah.
Okay, that's great. I'm gonna make you get a band score of 9. Okay,
Oh, okay.
9 is actually the highest.
Yeah.
Let's try. Okay.
Okay.
Well, there are only actually, there are 2 kinds. We have the academic module and the general training module. So if you're asking the difference about the two, it really depends on the purpose why you're taking the tests. So the teachers couldn't really decide which kind of module you have to choose. You have to decide it yourself.
For example, I want to apply some companies. Which should I take?
So
Exam?
that would depend on your company, but most probably you'd have to take the academic one. Along with studying abroad, then usually the academic one is chosen. But again, you'd have to ask the school or company for that because they have different conditions then.
Okay, reading and writing is academic.
Now the
Speaking.
listening and speaking, the listening and speaking tests are going to be the same for both the academic and general module. The big difference is actually the reading and writing. They're very different. The reading exam in the academic module and the reading exam in the general training module. Writing as well.
Yeah,
Much more difficult in academic.
Okay, but 2 modules also have reading and writing exam, right?
Yes. Each module will have the 4 exams.
Yeah. Yeah.
You have no escape. You have to take the 4.
Yes. Okay.
Okay. Now we move on. Okay. This is what you asked me. Please read academic.
For candidates taking the test for entry to undergraduate studies or for professional reasons.
And for the general training,
For candidates taking the test for entry to vocational or training programs, not at degree level, for admission to secondary schools, and for immigration purposes.
yes. So those are some, how do you say that? A guideline? Like if we hear someone saying, I want to work there, so we automatically think, you should take the academic module. But then again, you'd have to verify that from the company or school.
Yeah, of course.
Okay,
I
we
understand.
move on. Here are the exams. For the listening, there are 4 parts, actually. 4 parts, and there are 40 items. Have you taken the TOEIC before?
No.
No.
Also,
Well, no.
everything is new for me.
I was supposed to say, like, if you've taken the TOEIC, because the TOEIC consists of 100 items, and I was just gonna say, in IELTS there's only 40 items.
Yeah, it's better. Yeah, it's good. 40 items.
I'm not quite sure though. In TOEIC, you have choices A, B, C, D. But in IELTS, sometimes you need to spell out the word.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. Yes.
Okay, it's approximately 30 minutes. And for that's for the listening. Now, for the reading, is divided into two parts because you have it's different for the academic module and the general training module, but still the same. Three parts, 40 items again, good for 60 minutes.
Okay.
After that, we have the writing. Again, different for each module. There are only two tasks, task one and task two. And for both tasks, you are given 60 minutes as well.
Hmm.
And speaking is just the same for both modules. 11 to, it'll just last approximately 11 to 14 minutes. And in this course we're having now, we're only covering the speaking section. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm your speaking teacher for today.
Yes.
Would that be okay?
Yes, of course.
You have no choice, that's why. Okay. The total test time is 2 hours 44 minutes.
Yeah, quite long.
Quite long? Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, I
so
think time goes by so fast when you're taking the exam.
I don't think so. I think it's a little bit anxious. It will be a little bit, yeah, nervous.
Right. When I take the exam, it feels like time goes by so fast. All my problems go away.
Really? For you?
Yeah, you should try.
Okay, I will try.
Okay. Anyway, let's move on. So now we're gonna cover the speaking exam. So
Mhm.
again, it lasts typically 11 to 14 minutes, and there are three parts. So let's read each part. Please read part one.
Okay, part one. The examiner will ask you general questions about yourself and a range of familiar topics such as home, family, work, studies, and interests. This part lasts between 4 and 5 minutes.
Yes. Now, in part one, these questions are common to both the examiner and the candidate. So, these questions really do not need to be practiced beforehand. It's general knowledge. It's all about yourself, mostly about
Yes.
yourself. Now, in the speaking test, even if the question is quite easy or quite simple, for example, I'm going to ask you, do you like riding bicycles? Please
Yes.
try. Oh, okay. Then I encourage you to answer in a long, have a complete sentence for that. Yes.
Yes, I like riding bicycle.
And then please follow up with a reason or an
Because I feel more healthy
healthier,
and more energetic. Yeah.
healthier and more energetic.
I think so.
Okay. See? So aside from not just saying yes, you have
Yeah.
to. This is an exam. How can I know your skills? So
Yeah, yeah,
that's
yeah. I
why.
understand. Of
Okay.
course.
So for part one, similar questions like that, and then please try to make it longer. Okay.
Okay.
In part two, please read.
You will be given a card which asks you to talk about a particular topic. You will have 1 minute to prepare before speaking for up to 2 minutes. The examiner will then ask one or two questions on the same topic to finish this part of the test.
Okay. So in part one, I'm gonna ask you the examiner will ask you some questions and then you answer. In part two, the examiner will give you a topic. Now, to prepare for this particular topic, you're given 1 minute to prepare.
Hmm.
So I have to ask you if you have any piece of paper or pen with you right now, because we're gonna need that later.
Really? Yes, I have.
Okay. So in this 1 minute, Of course, maybe you jot down notes. No, you should. I highly encourage you to jot down notes to prepare for your topic, which you will talk about for 2 minutes. I think that's the challenge to talk about something for 2 minutes.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Oh, I think you're ready. Then,
Yes, you will give topic.
not yet. Later, I will give you during the. It's a surprise. That's all.
Okay. 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 Okay.
Part three. Let's read.
You will be asked further questions connected to the topic in part 2. These questions will give you the opportunity to discuss more abstract ideas and issues. The part of the test lasts between 4 and 5 minutes.
Okay. Now, in part three, these questions are related to the topic given in part two. Let's just say deeper, somewhat
Mm,
deeper questions. You'd need to explain more. You'd need to give your opinions.
okay.
So, giving reasons and examples is a must if you want to achieve a higher score.
Okay.
And after part three, the interview is then closed and the speaking test is completed. So, most of the questions asked in the test are scripted. So, they come from a bank of questions prepared by the test authorities. And these questions are being continually added to and updated. So, we don't just really make questions for you, like whatever you want to ask. These are official ones, or maybe in the past exams, and then we practice it.
Mm,
Maybe in the future it'll come out. Hmm, that's why.
mm,
Any questions so far?
no, not so far, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, everything is okay, clear.
Let's talk about how it's graded. So the speaking subtest or the speaking test band score is calculated from a comprehensive checklist of speaking skills in the following four distinct areas of ability. Sorry, I'd have to mention 0 to 9. 9 is the highest you could get. Okay?
Okay.
0 means you didn't show up, actually. That's, of course, that's the lowest. You didn't show up. Nothing
Mhm.
to give you. Now, to get your score, to get a score of 9, you'd have to target the four areas of ability. Let's read number 1, the first one.
Fluency and coherence.
One more
Coherence.
time. Fluency and coherence. One more time. Fluency
Fluency
and
and coherence.
yes. This is your ability to express ideas and opinions clearly and coherently without long pauses and hesitations.
Okay.
So, most of the students who are still thinking about the answer would have some pauses, some fillers. Yes, that affects your fluency and coherence, as well as answering. For example, I ask you again the question, would you like to ride a bike? You said, yes, I like to ride a bike. Ah, no, shifting. Or there is a lack of organization.
Mm-hmm.
It'll affect your fluency and coherence score. Okay?
Okay.
Next, number 2, we have your,
Lexical resource.
yes. This is your ability to use a wide range of vocabulary naturally. So my tip for my students is to always paraphrase or to find or to use synonyms when answering. So whatever is asked in the question, try to find another word for that. Again, if I ask, would you like to ride a bike? Do you like riding bicycles? And you say, yes, I like riding bicycles. You could have said, yes, I'm fond of riding bicycles. Same meaning, different words. You're trying to display that you have a wide range of vocabulary as well as high level vocabulary. I really encourage you to do that.
I think I hope so. I can do.
We'll see later in your test. Okay, third one. We have
Third one. Grammatical range and Accuracy.
Yes, accuracy. So this is your ability to use a wide range of grammatical structures without making many mistakes. Now, by grammatical range and accuracy, we're not just talking about having no mistakes. It's
Mhm.
also your ability to use different styles. We have passive forms, active ones. I ate the apple. The apple was eaten by me. So try to mix it up, not just simple sentences. Mhm.
Okay, I
Okay.
understand.
Last one.
Pronunciation.
Yes, your pronunciation is your ability to speak clearly and use pronunciation features naturally.
Yeah.
So it's how clearly I can understand you, your intonation as well, and that's that. Easy,
Yeah, yeah, very easy.
right? Okay.
Explanation also is difficult. I
Which one?
don't. No, no, it's okay.
Explanation is already difficult.
Complicated. Yeah.
Oh my god. Okay. Uh, to sum it up, we have the speaking. We're gonna focus on the speaking exam, and in the speaking exam there are three parts. Part one, the examiner will ask you common questions that you know already.
Yeah.
Part two, I'm gonna give you a topic, and you have a minute to prepare for it. 2 minutes to talk about it. And part three, just more questions about part two. All you need to do is to answer in
Yeah.
complete sentences with reasons if you can, with examples if you can, and a high level vocabulary if you can.
Yeah. I understand.
Not much, not much actually.
Not much. Yeah.
It's okay. It's your first try, and with our first try, we learn a lot of things.
Yeah.
Now, for our next one is already our practice test. So
Okay.
I'd like to ask how to pronounce your full name because I'm gonna need that for the exam. Uh,
Mhm.
Mehmet, how do I pronounce that?
Mehmet Suat Özay.
Mehmet Suat Suzai.
Suat Özay.
Suat Uzai.
Yes.
Mehmet Suat Uzai.
Yeah, it's correct.
Oh my god, are you gonna fail me in pronunciation?
It's nice. It's okay.
Oh, so sad. I'm
It's
gonna
okay.
use your real name later. Actually, we're
Okay.
gonna start the exam already.
Mhm.
Okay, you have your piece and you have your paper and your pen with you, right?
Yes, I
Later.
have.
That's for later. Okay, let us begin. This is the speaking test for the International English Language Testing System conducted on the 19th of June 2020 at QQEnglish number PH001. The candidate is Mehmet Sawat number 123456, and the examiner is Jamaica Dorothy, number 654321. Good afternoon. My name is Jamaica Dorothy. Can you tell me your full name, please?
Good afternoon. My name is Mehmet Suat Özay.
Can I see your identification, please?
Here.
Thank you. That's fine. Now, in this first part, I'd like to ask you some questions about yourself. First, let's talk about toys. What was your favorite toy in your childhood?
Uh, I had I had a car. Uh, I had a big car, big and green car. In my when I was child, I always play with that car. That car, my mother mm, bought for me, and really I like that car.
Should parents buy many toys to their children?
Why not? Parents, as much as possible, they can buy toys for their children.
What are the benefits of children playing toys?
Some toys help help to improve their like brain and their imagine and some toys help their like hand I don't know how to say handwork something like that. Yeah.
What are the disadvantages of children playing toys?
Disadvantages in the school maybe they can not focus their class homework and because children always wants to play with their toys and their friends
Let's
something like
talk about music. Do you love listening to music?
yes I like listening to music especially pop music. I like pop English music always when I go to work or in the gym. Always I listen to music.
What kinds of music do you love listening to?
I like pop music and rap music. I prefer that kind of music.
Where and when do you usually listen to music?
Generally, I listen at the gym and morning and evening when I go to work. That time I prefer to listen to music.
Where would you prefer to listen to music? At home or in the concert hall?
At home, I prefer listen music at home because I don't like crowded place. Um, it's crowded place. It makes me a little bit tired, and yeah,
Now let's talk about food. What kinds of food do you particularly like?
I really like meat, barbecue. Yes, I don't like fish and chicken. Generally, I prefer meat.
Why?
Maybe this it comes from my culture. That's why we are always eat meat, and taste is familiar for me.
What kinds of food are most popular in your country?
In my country, generally, also yeah, we are eating lamb meat is the most popular in my country. I can say every day, one meal we eat meat.
Do you like cooking?
Yes, really, I like cooking. I like cook um, because I live alone in my hometown, and I learn how to cook. And when I cook some food, I really enjoy it.
Now, I'm going to give you a topic and I'd like you to talk about it for 1 to 2 minutes. Before you talk, you'll have 1 minute to think about what you're going to say. You can make notes if you wish. Do you understand?
Yes,
Here's
I think so.
a pencil and some paper, and here's your topic. Please don't write anything on the booklet. I'd like you to talk about a place you find relaxing.
This is my topic, right?
And your time starts now.
1 minute.
I'm sorry. Yes.
What is the place? Where is the place? Okay, can I start?
You still have about 10 seconds. All right, now you have 1 to 2 minutes for this, so don't worry if I stop you. I'll tell you when the time is up. Can you start talking now, please?
This place, mm, 6 months ago, I visit in the Philippines. I visit Bohol. This place is island, one of the island in the Philippines. I really like that place because it's very clear and very peaceful, silent. Because I don't like crowded place and traffic, cars, and noisy place. That's why I like it. That place. I want to go. Uh, my friend, because we can spend good time together. I prefer to go with my friend. Generally, I prefer travel alone somewhere, but that place is good to go with friends. And there are many good mountain, and you can see the good sight see that place, and many different um, animals have in that island. These all things, all in that island, I can feel relaxing and enjoying.
You? Can I have the booklet, paper, and pencil back, please?
Okay.
Now, do you often have time to relax?
No, because I work um, really too much. I don't have enough time to relaxing or go somewhere and spend time with my friends. But when I have enough time, always I prefer to go some peaceful place.
Thank you. We've been talking about a place you find relaxing, and I'd now like to ask you one or two more general questions related to this.
Mhm,
First, let's talk about tourist destinations. What are the popular tourist destinations in your country?
mhm. In my country, many different destination for tourists. One of them is sea part. We have a really long beach and seaside place like beaches and hotels. Generally, foreigner tourists comes for sea holiday for swimming and for night clubs and swimming. Some parts, some mm, some tourists come from for the historical place. We have also the different destination. Mm,
Have you visited these tourist destinations yourself?
in Turkey, yes, actually, I live in that's site that destination, and I work in the like touristic place.
Do you like having a lot of tourists in your country?
Yes, really, I like also my job related to our customers always generally foreigner people. I like to communicate them, and I like to uh, I like to learn something from them.
How would you boost tourism in your country?
In my country, we focused on service quality. As much as possible, we are giving high service to them. Yeah.
Let's talk about solitude. Are you the kind of person who enjoys being by yourself?
Sorry, I don't understand.
Now, are you the kind of person who enjoys being alone by
Ah,
yourself?
uh, it depends. Generally, yes. 80% I like spend time alone. Go somewhere and, for example, go to cinema or restaurants. Yeah, generally I prefer to go and spend time alone.
What are the things you usually think when you're alone?
When I want to go somewhere alone, I feel more comfortable and free. You don't need to discuss what we can do, what we should go where, which way. Yeah, I feel more comfortable and free.
Do you think a person should have alone time?
Alone time.
Do you think a person should have alone time? Should have time alone?
Uh, it depends on personality and situation. Yeah, some situation also I told to go bohol with someone. I prefer go that place with someone, with my friend, my best friend. But generally it depends on the situation and personality.
Thank you very much. That's the end of the speaking test.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay. You're laughing now.
Yeah, it's okay.
Okay. It's okay. How do you feel? Okay. Please give me one thing that you think that you did well and one thing that you think that you should improve on. One each.
Yeah, I should improve my fillers,
Your
right?
fillers.
Like that.
Not much actually. I didn't really
Not
notice a
much.
lot of
Yeah,
that.
yeah, not much, right? Or yeah.
I know, sorry. I mean, your fillers didn't really distract me, but you had slow speech and some pauses in between.
Hmm.
Yeah. Okay. How about the thing that you could you think that you did well?
Uh, I don't know. Not that. Not good. Maybe average.
But you're very humble, huh? The good thing was you were able to. Oh, Mehmet. Hi, hi. Hello. Hey, can you hear me? Welcome back.
Sorry, I lost connection or something has
It's
problem.
okay.
Sorry.
Anyway, the good thing was you didn't hear me say the good thing.
I think you ask which part is you are the good or which part is bad.
Mm.
Yeah, and after
Which
that I
okay.
didn't hear.
So the good thing was that you're able to answer the questions.
Really?
I find that very, I think
I
that's
think
wonderful.
this is the not good point. Just you can
That's a good
answer the
point. Okay.
really.
Really, really. I mean, it's your first exam, and of course, I've
Mm,
handled many students, and then most of the time they couldn't really understand the question. So that's
yeah.
why I say it's a very good thing that you were able to answer all questions then and understood them. Okay.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you.
To regain your confidence. Okay. Now we're gonna discuss your scores.
Yeah.
Again, 9 is the highest, and then 0 is the lowest. You're not gonna get a 0 because you attended. I'm just joking. Sorry. Actually, we have a band descriptor, so we don't really give you. You can't see them because it's quite small,
Yes.
very small. You could actually search it up in the internet, and this is the a band descriptor we use for the exams. So if you're looking for a way to improve your scores, one tip I could give you is to read through the band descriptor because you would
Mhm.
know how could I get a 9 because there are like requirements here, conditions
Yeah.
that
How can I find that chart in on internet? Can I find?
you could just get search it up in the internet. IELTS speaking test band descriptor,
Okay.
or I could give you a link after.
Thank you.
Yes. So this is something I ask my students because they have their own preferences. Would you like me to talk about the negative first or the positive?
Negative. Negative first is negative.
Negative first.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna say the negative for each, or not really negative. Let's not say negative. Things we could improve.
I
Okay,
need to improve. Yeah, of course.
that's it. So for your fluency and coherence, here there are some slow speech in between, especially in part one when we were talking about toys. So slow speech was used. Slow speech would mean it's not stating sentences naturally, like what I'm doing now. I'm also using slow speech. I
Okay.
noticed that. Okay. So there's some pauses in between when we could have said it naturally and confidently, and that's that. So slow speech, pauses, not much with fillers, not much with ah and They could be forgiven. Here we also have generally. This is your favorite word. What is that? It means a filler for you already. You often said generally. I was really looking for another word that you could have used.
Yeah.
So
What can I use?
cohesive devices. So generally, it's a cohesive devices. We link words, or like we usually use that in the beginning of the sentence. I could also okay. Aside from generally, what else could you use? Could you help me?
Mm, eventually,
Eventually,
may,
eventually, it means that we're leading one thing to another, right?
similar, right? Or not?
Similar would be comparing two things that they're the same, but they are also cohesive devices. Yes.
Generally,
Generally means like in,
what can I?
as
What
a
is the
whole.
synonyms? You are asking actually synonyms, right?
Yes.
I don't know what's the. Help me. Help me.
As a whole.
Basically, maybe basically is
Basically,
Can I use? Yeah, I can use
Whole. You can even say opinion statements, opinion expressions.
as a whole. Mhm.
My viewpoint, you
In
can
my,
use those
my
expressions. Yes. I actually have a list of words you could use. I think we have our Skype, right? Don't we?
we have.
I
I
think
have.
I think we are friends in Skype. I could also send you the link because I don't have them in the classroom. I couldn't upload them. That's why.
Okay, I will ask later to you.
Yes, please, and I'd be glad to give you some other cohesive devices. I'd be happy to hear you use a variety of them in your next exam.
Okay,
If I'm your speaking teacher, I'll be
sure.
pretty strict with you, actually.
Sure.
Okay, so fluency and coherence, let's work on that. Slow speech, I know you're confident. I think when we have a normal conversation, you could engage with me. So
Mhm.
maybe it was your first time the test, and you didn't really,
Yeah,
yeah,
and maybe I didn't prepare about the exam or something like that.
you don't
If
need
I
to prepare.
no, some will, some
Okay, okay.
you know, same as like that.
Okay, so there. A variety of cohesive devices, minimize slow speech, and pauses. Mm. Next, let's go to your lexical resource. I was looking here. I was looking for a word that could have been good enough, or let's say a high level vocabulary word, idiomatic expressions. I couldn't also find some words like that in your exam. Phrasal verbs. Oh, sorry. For your lexical resource, I
Idioms.
okay.
No, no idioms,
Idiomatic
right?
expressions, yes. So high level vocabulary, idiomatic expressions, phrasal verbs are good enough. Mm. They sound natural, casual, but they sound higher than the normal common word. Mm.
Yeah, yeah,
I couldn't find that yet. You didn't prepare, that's why. I would,
yeah,
I'm not
yeah.
gonna lie. When I have every time I have a speaking exam,
Hmm.
I'm not the one conducting. I'm the one having the exam. I really prepare a set of words that I want to use in the exam, especially in part two, because I'm given 1 minute to prepare. I really, really find a way to use those words so I can target a higher lexical resource. And
Yeah,
before you speak, be aware of the words coming out of your mouth. Always find example. I just want to say big. No, find a synonym right away. Colossal.
yeah. I understand.
Okay. Like
Yeah,
multitasking.
I will try. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Again, English is a skill. Speaking English is a skill, and skills can be learned.
yeah. Of course.
Here, I'd like to also state where was that? Still in part one, when you mention improve their brain, their imagine,
Yeah.
it also hits grammatical. I think you want to say that it would improve their knowledge, increase their knowledge, their imagination.
Actually, I said it can be help to improve their like imagine or something like that. Is it wrong?
Ah, we would say imagination. That will hit your grammar already.
Hahaha.
Imagine
Okay.
is a verb. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I understand.
Okay. So for your yes, we now move on to your grammar there. There are lapses, and you tend to answer in fragments, which also affects again your fluency and coherence. Sometimes, at times, you tend to not say complete sentences, and they are cut. For example, morning when we talked about music, I like special. I like. So we're going back. I like special. I like. You mentioned. I asked when you about music again. You said you'd like to listen to music morning and evening. and cut, and then another phrase again, just like that.
Yeah.
When I asked about cooking, you asked yes. You answered yes. I really like cooking. I like cook. So it's repeated. So it also affects that. Same in part two, grammar and moral fluency. Actually, in part two, you mentioned this place 6 months ago. I was in the Philippines. When you could have said one straight sentence for those, except for not just cutting and cutting like that.
Yeah. Hmm.
Okay.
Okay.
Pronunciation. I could actually understand what you're saying clearly. Let's repeat one word though. This one in the chat box.
Lamb.
One more time.
Lamb.
Where do we pronounce the B sound?
Yes, I pronounce lamb. Lamb.
With no B sound.
No B. Okay.
No B sound. Lamb. You keep repeating that. You should know how to pronounce it, okay?
Lamb. Okay.
Or lamb. You put okay.
Okay.
With no B sound. Don't ask me why B is not pronounced. English is just like that.
Yeah, of course.
They spell words with extra letters and don't pronounce them anyway.
Sure.
I'm gonna give you your score.
Okay.
Oh, sorry. My lines are not straight. Please forgive me. For fluency and coherence, I'll give you a 5 for that. This is because you speak. You tend to. Sorry, I'm cutting. You speak at length. You try to give examples. You try to lengthen your answers, but you don't really use. However, you don't really use a range of cohesive devices, and I'd want you to improve on that. So I'm giving you space to grow. So for now, I'm going to give you a 5.
Okay.
For your lexical resource, I'll give you a 6 for that. You have a wide enough vocabulary, and I couldn't give you a higher score. That's because I couldn't see high level vocabularies used, nor idioms or such. Actually, one word is not enough. So please
Yeah.
make sure to use lots
Yes.
of them. If you could. That would be better. For your
Yeah.
grammar, I could understand what you're trying to say, even with those lapses you're having. It doesn't really cause any comprehension problems for me. I'm
Hmm.
going to give you a 6 for that. And for your pronunciation, oh, one more word. I just remembered. I'm sorry. Please repeat this word.
Had.
Had. Okay. At
Yeah.
first, at first I heard head. Hed. It sounded like Hed for me. Then later on, you already pronounced it like had. So,
Yeah. I.
when you mentioned you had a toy car,
Yeah. I had like that, right? Had.
yes.
Yeah.
At first, I heard I had Hed. It sounds like Hed, not Had. That's why.
Mm. Mm.
So for your pronunciation, I'm going to give you a 6 for that as well. So what we're gonna do is to add up all the numbers. Could you help me? What's the total?
12, 18, 23.
23. And we divide it by 4. I hope you like math.
5.5. Something.
5.75.
75.
We don't really give a 0.75. We only give whole numbers or a point 0.5. So round it off. That would be 5.5 for today's exam.
Okay, I
In your
understand.
next exam, please give me a 6 already.
Okay. Just maybe I can, if I use idioms or
It would
uh,
be, yeah.
vocabulary, it can be like 6
Okay.
point, maybe. Yeah,
I think your first target should be fluency and coherence. Okay.
fluency and coherence. Yeah, yeah,
I think in your next exam it'll really improve. You already know how the exam goes, so it's easy.
yeah,
Mm. Okay.
yeah.
Give me a
Okay,
6 in your next exam.
okay. Thank you,
Okay, I will let you go. Thank you very much.
thank you,
Enjoy your day. Bye
thank
bye.
you. See you. Bye bye.